Okay, so I'm finally getting around to showing you some of the ships that will be in Star Citizen when it goes live. This is the Aurora by Robert Space Industries. This will be the basic starter craft, just one of the simple, cheap, little craft that you can get. All ships in the game can be armed. You can see this one's got a couple of nice guns on the front, but you can actually fit a lot more onto this. It's quite a flexible little craft. You'll actually be able to change quite a lot in these ships, so you can change the engines, the thrusters, a lot of the systems as well. As you can see, you can climb into the ships. These will actually be the airlocks, so you can board other ships as well. It's not like the ships in this game are a separate instance. This is part of the physical world. See, very good visibility in the ship. Glass all around, so you can even see below you. There's me. So you can see him moving the controls as I activate my keyboard. Get out the seat, have a look further back. So you can see just behind the pilot seat there's a small space for some cargo in here. Chuck some up there as well. And you've got your sleeping quarters. That's when you have to travel long distances. So you can see the detail and the depth that's gone into the animations is fantastic. So there's your basic beginner vessel. To be able to do a good variety of basic missions with that. I'll quickly jump on to the next one. Okay, as you can see this is another Aurora, but this one's kitted out for combat. So you can see bigger guns on the bottom. Up just above where the airlocks are, you can see the missile rack up there. And missiles are insanely powerful in this game, but of course limited, they will run out. And you can also see up on top of the fins more guns, so you can actually fit quite a lot of weapons on these. Generally quite smaller than some of the dedicated fighters, but not bad payout. But it's the same basic ship, just more weapons, different systems, designed for the actual combat role. But when the game goes live, like I say, you'll be able to change the basic loadout of any of the ships. So this is just the same as the basic Aurora, but with different bits on it. I'll jump to the next one. Okay, here we have the Avenger by Aegis Dynamics. Personally my favourite looking ship, because it's gorgeous. Nowhere near as heavily armed as some of the other ships. You've got one massive gun on the front, so it's kind of a sniper ship. You've got a couple of other small hardpoints under the wings. Drop tanks as well. I think this will be your basic training ship, so when you're learning the basic flight controls it will be a two-seater version of this, so you'd climb up into the cockpit there. But this one, the civilian version, actually has a decent amount of storage capacity at the back, and it's sort of pitched as being great for bounty hunters, and you'll see why when we get inside. Because in the back here we have little pods. So when you capture someone, stick them in there. There's 4 of them in here. But because of the modular nature, you'll be able to strip these out, and if you just wanted to put cargo in here, you can do that as well. And move forward. There's a crawlway here. On the right, you've got some more space for a small amount of storage. And on the left, we have the bed, so you can climb in. So you'll find that most of the ships will have some sort of sleeping quarters for the crew. And here we have the cockpit. Very good visibility in this as well. Can't see down like you can in the Aurora, but as far as general visibility goes, it's quite good. No struts getting in your way. To the basic control panel there, but there'll be holographic controls in the middle. You can see the joysticks. Everything moves when you move your flight controls. The animations are fantastic. That is the gorgeous Avenger. So I'll move on to something else now. Okay, here we are. This is the proper dedicated fighter craft. It's the Hornet. There's lots of different variants of the Hornet, but this is the basic civilian version. So it doesn't have the turret mounted in the middle like the proper military version has, but it's got some sort of a little bit of transport capacity in there, so it could be a great ship for doing smuggling runs with. It's a lot tougher than most of the other sort of fighter sort of single seat craft. It can take a lot more damage and can mount some nice weapons. So you've got nose mounts, wing mounts, and because you'll be able to do anything like the ships, you can, when the game goes live, mount the bull turret in the middle as well if you really wanted to. But I'll show you that later, because I also have that version. The cockpit looks gorgeous. This is probably the most finished ship in the game. So focused on getting this ready for the dogfighting module. So you can see like the panels and the holographic projectors. And again, stick moves when you move the controls. Good visibility above, not much down the way, so a lot of the time you're relying on your HUD, your navigation, to be able to track where your targets are, unless they're directly in your line of sight. But when you get up and close and you've got them in your sights, you can pack quite a wallop. Let's take a jump out here. Hornet, that'll be your basic fighter. So when you're doing your single player missions, you're running your combat runs, that would be the ship that you're flying. Or the military version of that ship, which we'll come to in a minute. Let's move on. Okay. This is the 300i by Origin Jumpworks. Nice, lovely, sleek design. A lot quicker than the Hornet. Not quite as tough though. Can carry a decent amount of weapons. You've got hard points under those upper wings that you can fix missile mounts, some gun mounts on the ends of the wings, under the nose as well. This one actually has a decent amount of space inside. And gull wing doors. Can't have a supercar without gull wing doors. As you can see, there's a fair bit of space back here. And this is our cockpit. It's a really nice looking cockpit. Again, very good visibility above, but not a lot below. That's where the little Aurora has the advantage. You can see moving the controls back and forward, and the feet as well. Now, I think there is a bedroom compartment somewhere, but I can't seem to figure out how to find it. Let's see. There you can see the ship here. There's a few variants that you can pledge for the ship as well. This is the basic one. There's also a more heavily armed version, which I've also got, and there's an exploration one, so it's kitted out for long range missions. Okay, we'll jump to one of the variants. Okay, so here's the 325A, which is the more heavily armed variant of the 300i. You can see it's got the hard points under the wings for the missiles, and it's usually got another big gun under the nose called a mass driver, but I have taken that off to put onto the trainer aircraft, which is what you use in the Arena Commander, the dogfight module simulation. So it's the same basic ship, just different equipment, different weapons. Again, look around. So it's the same basic ship inside, same cockpit. Over here, we have another one of my favourites. All blacked out. This is the Hornet Ghost, the stealth variant. So it doesn't have the bull turret like the military version. It doesn't have the extra storage capacity that the civilian version has, but it has systems that means that its radar signature is greatly reduced. Same cockpit and flight controls. It's all the same basic aircraft, just slightly different setup for stealth missions. Yeah. So you can see how the cockpit comes around. I really like the idea of flying a stealth craft. So you can always lay ambushes. You can sit by an asteroid, drop your engines, drop your heat, become invisible to enemy sensors. You can always have one of your friends act as bait, so they can go out looking like they're not being covered. Pirate jumps out to attack them, and when they're engaged, you power up your engines, go after them, and sneak attack. Okay, let's move on to something a little bit different now. Right then, this is possibly one of my favourite ships and will be my standard go-to ship, because I'm more interested in the economy side rather than just the fighty side. This will be my basic vessel. It's kind of like a truck in space. Think of an articulated lorry. Does the same job, decent cargo capacity. Not going to be anywhere near as manoeuvrable as the smaller craft, but does boast some quite significant weapons. A lot bigger. And you've got the missile racks on the side. There's even a variant of this ship which I don't have yet, which is sort of a military gunboat version, which is just festooned with missile racks. The entry to this ship is a little bit different than some of the others. You actually climb up that front landing gear. Another reason why the ship's quite nice is it's vaguely reminiscent of Serenity from Firefly. That's a fat belly, broken neck sort of look. Obviously a lot smaller though. Let's get inside then. So you can see the steps on the front landing gear. It's quite dark inside here now. Just updated it. Looks a bit darker than it used to. It's supposed to be just a two-man crew, but you have beds for 4. Also, you have seats for 4 at the front. There's a couple back here, and you got the pilot and co-pilot seats. So it could be that you could take on some extra crew for manning certain systems. So say if you outfitted it for mining operations, one of these consoles could be someone controlling the mining bots. Let's get into our pilot seat. So you can see the visibility in this is quite restricted compared to the smaller single man craft. Again, flight controls, everything moves. So in some of the smaller craft, well most of the smaller craft, you'll have a full holographic display, whereas in some of these larger vessels, a lot of what comes up on the heads-up display will be on these panels. Because you've got a co-pilot, you can push some of the systems off to them. So you could have, say, your co-pilot managing the shields, so they can keep an eye on that and direct the energy where it needs to go. Some more consoles back here, and we go back. Sort of a small inner cargo space, and that'll be your docking ring up there. And we go back to the main cargo hold. There's a lot more space in here. And the main back ramp for loading cargo with. So this will probably be my most commonly used ship for transporting goods. And let's move on. And here we have the Drake Interplanetary Cutlass. While the company itself won't say that it's designed for pirates, it's very clearly designed for pirates. I really like the angry skull look of the engines. The intakes on the top looking like mad eyes. It's quite an agile craft for something of its size. And it's got good storage capacity. And a manned turret on the top. It's a good all-round craft. Can carry a fair amount of weapons. And storage space. A little bit awkward to get into this thing. There we go. Oh, there we go. Climb up onto the wings. Let's have a quick look around while we're up here. Yeah. Not looking like a pirate vessel at all. Let's climb in. Let's see, we've got the cockpit at the front here. You can see the runners on the floor there. So when you climb in and you go into flight mode, that whole block with the pilot seat and the co-pilot seat will shift across to the center so that you're not offset. There we go. Fairly good visibility in this as well. It won't be as agile as the small craft, but you have the advantage of extra crew to man different weapons. You've got the turret gunner as well. You can be able to keep an eye on behind you as well. And you can always pass off certain systems to the co-pilot. Good. Sit up behind you there. So it could be managing certain systems so that you can concentrate on flying. So we've got a small space here. You'll be able to attach things to the racks at the sides. And we go back. So pretty much everything works in this game. It will do. So you can just sit if you want to. So and that's your docking ring. So in your perfectly legitimate actions of attaching yourself to enemy craft and sending troops down, so you can carry quite a few people in here. So you can latch onto an enemy ship, open up the boarding hatch, and then troops can go in. So activate it. So you can see that goes down to the outside. Toilet. There's our rear ramp. It's a big, quite a good cargo vessel. Quite a good armed transport vessel. Come on. There we are. There's the let's see if I can figure out how to get that down. There it comes. This is your turret gunner seat. It doesn't turn, but you'll have your HUD will come up. Your guns there. So this one will be able to obviously turn all the way around, so you can fire behind you as well. That is your cutlass. Okay, just have a quick run around the 3 trainer aircraft that you get with the dogfighting module. So this is your basic Aurora, painted nice and white for a training vehicle. So you got a couple of guns on the front, some missiles on the top. It's the same basic ship, looks the same on the inside, just with some guns. And then we have, this is the trainer version of the 300i. Looks gorgeous in white as well. So, nose mounted gun. Hard points under the wings. Wingtips as well. That's your missiles under the wings there. So the same ship on the inside. Different colour scheme for being a trainer aircraft. Same cockpit. And over here we have the military version of the Hornet. So it has a twin turret at the top. Not a manned turret like on the Cutlass. It's entirely controlled by the pilot. And then you have these 2 absolutely massive Gatling guns. So a little bit different on the inside than the other Hornet variants. This one's just slightly more polished. There are a few other ships. There's a few that I can't pledge for at the moment. Some special ones, but they're not actually in the game yet. There's also the Constellation. The same company that does the Little Aurora does one of the biggest plate ships. Don't have one of them yet either. But when I do, I'll have a quick run around that. So that's all the basic ships. And I'll do a little video in the dogfighting module next.